청평갔다와서 저쪽 망우 목사님이 추어탕 사주는 한 달에 한 번씩 들리면 추어탕 사주지, 좋은 거 주지. 갔다 와서 늘어지게 자고, 자, 한 2시간 동안 읽고, 또 한번 최대한 맥시멈 가동을 하겠습니다. 저녁 오후 늦게 리치얼입니다. You become what you think about. How your mind creates the world you live in. I had tried to quit many times over the years, but all I thought about was what I was sacrificing by not smoking. Seven money rules for life. How to take control of your financial future. Getting it all together. Again, I don't know the circumstances of your financial life, but I do know something about what it takes to make permanent life changes. Deadlines and disruption. The changing role of journalism schools. First, our mistakes. The 10 Commandments. The significance of God's laws in everyday life. Definitions of incest have varied greatly throughout the history. Incest. Strategies of the Serengeti. Using the marked V Panzer or Panzer as a representative German tank and acknowledging that there were many variants on each model, the bare statistics of the weapons war. U.S. Sherman, Russian T-34, Panzer, peaks and valleys, making good and better times work for you at work and in life. As they said their goodbyes, the old man made a suggestion. Where will you be 5 years from today? Imagine this. Over the next 5 years, you'll receive the gift of 260 different Mondays, each one coming into your life fresh and full of promise. Words and rules, the ingredients of language. Second, in every irregular family, some members are more equal than others. Leadership. The 11 essential changes every leader must embrace. Now that I am in my 70s, people have started to ask me questions that prompt me to think back on my life. Making crosses, a creative connection to God. Exercise, Assemble all of your collective items. American Rust. Take things a little easy. Creative Problem Solvers Toolbox. A completive course in the art of creating solutions to problems of any kind. Long ago, superstitions, opinions, and other unverified facts were commonly trusted simply because of who presented them or because someone told about an experience that supported the belief. The law of attraction. You will recognize that you are an inviter, the creator, and the attractor of all things that come to you, and you will indeed then have deliberate control of your own life experience. Losing control, the emerging threat to Western prosperity. This dependency is likely to rise and to spread to other countries, such as the UK, which, to date, are not heavily dependent on imports of gas from Russia. Great day every day, navigating life's challenges with a promise and a purpose. Why can we call grace the official language of Christ? Making sense. Conversation on consciousness, morality, and the future of humanity. When the quality is poor, you can have disastrous consequences. Don't swallow your gum. Misses half-truths and outright lies about your body and health. Applying more force to the food, like throwing it against the floor, also resulted in more pesticide getting on the food, up to 70% at 10 minutes on hardwood flooring when Bologna was squished with 1,500 gram force. The New Teacher book, Finding Purpose, Balance, and Hope during your first years in the classroom. As teachers and parents, we can organize against the broader attack on public education that allows feeding the bubble test to dominate our classroom and make students question their abilities. The subtle art of not giving a fuck, a counterintuitive approach to living a good life. If you are sitting there, miserable day after day, then that means that you are already wrong about something major in your life. Until you are able to question yourself to find it, nothing will change. Third culture kids growing up among wolves. As the Dalai Lama says in his famous guide for living, The Art of Happiness, a tree with strong roots. A tree With strong roots can withstand the most violent of the storm, but the trees can't grow roots just as the storm appears on the horizon. If you have a poor posture, or are you slovenly in your talk, you will find that practice before full length of the mirror will work wonders for you. Working backwards, inside stories and the secret from inside the amateur. The popularity of the digital music file sharing service Napster, which had taken off in June 1999, had been a signal to all of us that there was a shift in consumer demand away from physical media to digital media. Rise of the robot technology and the threat of a jobless future. If the AI were to break out, it could obviously threaten any number of critical systems, including the financial system, military control networks, and the electrical grid and other energy infrastructure. Real moms. Exploding the myths of motherhood. A real mom compares herself with her friends and stops there. While we make the mistakes, in one survey, 20% of hand surgeons revealed that they had operated on the wrong site at least once in their careers. 1 minute wellness, the natural health and happiness system that never fails. It's the same with your spine. The success journey, the process of living your dreams. The next morning, everyone in the sales department was amazed to see the salesman's two letters on the bulletin board, along with the following memo from the president. We've been spending way too much time trying to spell instead of trying to sell. The multi-hyphen method. Work less, create more, and design a career that works for you. It was only then that I was brave enough to leave my job. Smart women finish rich. I am investing my money in a retirement account. Cube Jim's most fundamental move was to trade the straight jacket of creating an illusion of reality for the freedom of playing with meaning, now humorously and ironically, now at a metaphysical level. Focus, the hidden driver of excellence. Hawkins' perspective. Imagine 50,000 people in Copenhagen exchanging antennae and notes and cars and contacts and ideas and so forth, and then spreading back all over the world to 192 countries. Women make the best salesmen. Thank you, guys. You know who you are. Now discover your strengths, how to develop your talents and those of the people you manage. Fidelity to the law of your own being is an act of high courage flung in the face of life. The portable coach, but it can be one of the wisest choices you'll ever make. Stop procrastinating. A simple guide to hacking laziness, building self-discipline, and overcoming procrastination. We'll talk about long-term strategies to tame the monkey and lower its impact on us in Chapter 10. The 5 love languages of teenagers. You have made the conscious decision to release your anger, and you have gone past what you believe to be your own failures. Future trends. Rather than just one-offs, ESG investing is being increasingly packaged into funds such as the Bay Area Equity Fund managed by J.P. Morgan, which strive to realize average yields while at the same time creating employment opportunities in lower income areas. One-offs. The riches within your 7 secret treasures. This dismissal of someone else's values can be called careless. So for the day, God's truth will drown out the sound of fear. Paul presented himself as the same person in public that he was in private. How about us? 1 month to live, 30 days to a no regrets of the life. If you evaluate the status of the symbol, if you elevate status symbol, then you are really trying to give the appearance of a healthy, well-balanced, successful life without the reality of it. Prepare the child. We will tell the next generation the praiseworthy deeds of the Lord, his power and the wonders he has done. Psalm chapter 78. Turn your passion into the profit. Don't worry, give yourself 2 weeks and you'll find that it will all start to make sense. The science of getting rich. No matter whether you are a physician, a teacher, or a clergyman, if you can give increase of life to others and make them sensible of the fact they will be attracted to you and you will get rich. What got you here won't get you there. How successful people become even more successful. At the other extreme, when leaders consistently followed up, the perception of their effectiveness jumped dramatically. The dollarization discipline, how smart companies create customer value and profit from it. The space savings also created inventory and shipping savings for customers, which were not insignificant when multiplied by thousands of boxes. Building a magnetic culture, how to attract and retain top talent to create an engaged, productive workforce. The lack of correlation, meaning there is no relationship between two variables, would yield a score of 0. Cooking like a salad. Preheat oven to 400 degrees. Prayer, finding the heart's the true home. Again he said, Lady, your sins are forgiven you. And again she kept right on with the monologue. People of the early church felt a crucial need and a desire for community as well. Money and the law of attraction. Complaining about complaining is also complaining. My complaint that it is easy to be optimistic when you are young and in good health, but that it is very difficult when you are older or sicker. But we never encourage using your age or current state of failing health as a limiting thought that disallows improvement or recovery. Disallow. Originals, how nonconformists move the world, as an explanation of how his behavior affected others represented the first major turning point in Jackie Robinson's life. Doing agile right, transformation without the chaos. The team's post release provided field HR reps with a prioritized list of candidates powered by an algorithm in the background that aggregated and analyzed more than 20 data points. You know where you are on MK. You slip into another language when you are at the mat. The power of nice. How to conquer the business world with kindness. Yeah, chapter 5, help your enemies. When Marla started working in the television industry, she had a terrible boss. Who's got your back? The secret to finding the 3 people who will change your life. To paraphrase Bob, eventually everyone has to answer the difficult but straightforward question of why we are who we are. Knowing and doing the will of God. While you are studying Hebrews chapter 11, you may notice that a faithful life does not always bring the same results in human terms. 20-something manifesto, work and career. What do you do? Forget your fears and flaws. When I sold the business, we strictly worked in the porn industry. The new CEO was desperately trying to bridge the gap into mainstream. Good product, bad product, essential elements to achieving superior quality. The symbolism associated with the individual products is partly historical, partly a function of the role they play, and partly a function of conscious effort by the producers and the distributors. Who killed the creativity, and how can we get it back? When you could use this time to dream of the future, to plan a special event, or to solve problems in your mind, or even, heaven forbid, to unwind and relax. Unwind. Children's book of the Bible. They tried to throw him off a cliff, but he escaped. The 100 simple secrets of happy people. Be your own fan. 15-year-old Michael Jordan looked up and down the list. Be your own fan. Power to reinvent yourself, how to break the destructive patterns in your life. Through this process, you will see that His healing, His power, His love are real. New York City with kids. Think of the place as an elaborately catered wedding party with beautiful lights, strong outdoors, and stick to simpler menu choices. College essays that made the difference. The school can't legally house those the disease rest setting. We are told in the Bible that the Holy Spirit within us is greater than he who is in the world. 1 John chapter 4. Glorious are the glorious ruin, now available. Count your blessings. If I didn't laugh, I'd cry. Every survival kit should include a sense of humor. Developing reading skills. Finally, in this unit, you will learn how you can escape the bond of place and time through magic, the magic of reading, opening up the mind. Wherever you go, there you are. Mindfulness meditation in everyday life. They have hung on the back of my door now for 15 years unused. The charisma of the mist now focus on the space, filling the entire universe. Work. A deep history from the Stone Age to the age of robots. This is thought to have been the fate of the many ancient cities, towns, and settlements that appear to archaeologists to have been abandoned for no obvious reason almost overnight. Evangelist marketing. Let's take advantage, more real-world value. And the 6500 is as beautiful as it is functional, with a design that complements virtually any room in the house. Right at the source. Words are wonderful. By writing them and putting them together, I could make them say whatever I wanted to say. It was a kind of magic. The everyday life of the Bible. The Old Testament. We open Genesis. We open here the book of Genesis, described as a book of beginnings. But I also like to think of it as a book of opportunities. From start to finish, we read stories of people who were presented with opportunities. Jesus calling. After the spies promised, Rahab used a bright red rope to help them climb to the ground. Give and take, a revolutionary approach to success. Although Mayer didn't launch The Simpsons, it was created by Matt and developed with James. Radical Grace Daily Meditation. True prayer, in that sense, probably is the most courageous and countercultural thing an American will ever do. Public speaking for dummies. If equipment is available, find out if they have special rules for reserving it, who will run the equipment, and if you have to coordinate your remarks with the people sitting in a control room. Now more than ever, it's clear that the future will be radically different than the present. Only a tiny portion of total sales of wines outside of bars and restaurants take place online, a pathetic 1.8% in the United States, 3.3% in Germany and Japan, 4.3% in France. Pathetic. National Museum of Natural History. What intrigued Darwin was how the plants and animals had adapted to island life. While we sleep, unlocking the power of sleep and the dreams. Just to give you a sense of what that feeling is relative to what you may be considering, it would be the sleepiness equivalent of staying awake for 3 to 4 days straight. NYC Basic Tips and Etiquette, number 58. NYC Basic Tips and Etiquette 59. Speaking of standing back. The new brand you, your new image make the sale for you. We all make mistakes. Being an entrepreneur means you make a lot of mistakes. If you are not making mistakes, you are not trying enough. You are not trying enough things, and your competitors are going to get the best of you. Eating disorders. The answer to what is soothing and comforting lies within you and within a particular moment or problem. Never check email in the morning. They figured she was being inefficient, probably chit-chatting, languishing over decision, overcomplicating tasks, or procrastinating, chit-chatting. Praying with competence, renewing your trust and joy in God. If we don't want to do His will, then that too must be brought to light so we can ask God to help us overcome our rebellion and the foolishness. Thought for the day: how can I celebrate diversity in the body of Christ today? On speaking at the well, they, I thought, are part of the problem. The original popular conservative president can get the changes he wants through Congress. the purpose-driven life. Then your emotions activate your behavior, and you acted on what you felt. Bag the elephant, how to win and keep big customers. Soon I was hearing about research studies being performed in divisions I never knew existed. Our daily bread. You imputed, not imputed. The word impute means to charge it to an account. Impute. The personal MBA. The personal MBA. Master the art of business. Acceptance requires applying the concept of sunk cost to yourself. Sunk cost. Obedience to authority. The experiment that challenged human nature. Yet this organization cannot be achieved with the automata, as you have described them. Automata. 정이 없어. This passage is rebuking first-century Christians for believing that ceremonial Jewish acts like circumcision could elevate all guilt before God. The 21 indispensable qualities of a leader, and he wants to increase that. Branding for dummies. Search engines like Google collect the information by using a program called Spider to read and index website, sending keywords from the site back to the search engine index. The nervous system. Describe the parts of the brain and give their function. No filter. How Instagram transformed the business, celebrity, and culture. Her dining room was decorated in purple wallpaper, peppered with giant red lips, while around the table were a number of chairs in a variety of sizes and styles. The art of aging, a doctor's prescription for well-being. I never thought of myself as someone who is sick. Quitting. Why it matters in life, love, and the work. According to L, our self-representation includes specific events and behaviors, as well as generalization about the traits, shy, outgoing, enthusiastic, roles, lawyer, husband, father, brother, category, membership, male Jewish, libertarian, physical features, fit, tall, myopic behavior, card player, sailor, jazz enthusiast, preferences, urban living, goals, financial success, autobiographical recollection, summers at grandparents' cottage, and relationship, colleague, friend, supporter. Myopic. Some people have strange jobs. Usually the people who invent games don't work at inventing all the time. How everyday people are beating Wall Street at its own game. You need to do something because once you start getting nervous, you stop thinking clearly. So maybe your cognitive action is to close half your position. The difference, how anyone can prosper in even the toughest times. Reggie. But before we get to that, let's look at the role gratitude plays in the difference. The 22 immutable laws of marketing violate them and your own risk. With hundreds of computers and an army of meteorologists, no one can predict the weather 3 days in advance. So, how do you expect to predict your market 3 years in advance? Reading Discovery. Why is it risky to use a phone in the bathroom? Still surprised. A memoir of a life in leadership. The reasons Martin's plan was never fully realized are many, including a tanking economy, Andrews' campus unrest, and Martin's unanticipated move to become president of the University of Pennsylvania in 1970. Lose the weight, and find your path back to health. The fat phobia of the past 40 years turned us off from foods such as eggs, sirloin, and pork because of their saturated fat content. But saturated fat was never the problem. influencer, the power to change anything. Crucial conversation. Since in these cases, individuals weren't resisting the idea of washing salary or wearing cheaper gloves or filling containers to the top, but were not thinking of the behaviors in the moment. Merely putting the data in front of them was sufficient to change behavior. Reading for thinking. In King's case, the whole of exemplars contains figures like Jesus, Gandhi, Buddha, and Mother Teresa. From King's point of view, the whole of exemplars and the whole of fame work together to help us shape who we are and what we hope to be. Becoming. I don't recall exactly when it was that he first raised the possibility of running for a seat in the U.S. Senate. Markets, hedge funds, and the perils of financial innovation. Tulip mania came neither from these rare bulbs nor from their collectors. Heal your body. The mental causes for physical illness and the metaphysical way to overcome them. I easily flow with change, putting it in writing, Bidden's letters. This is to let you know that the staff of the Edison Advocate, our school paper, will be meeting on Monday. The good life. Many do not stay in one place long enough to build stable groups of friends. 고래라는 벽기 나카마노 히도비도 나구 사메르 요니또. The upper room, salted for the day. God can cleanse any life. You are made for. He offered hope to others who are being negatively labeled. 2. Warning of the dangers of wrong association. Crime preventer. Your battles belong to the Lord. Know your enemy and be more than a conqueror. Deliverance comes when we learn to stand still and confront the problems we prefer to avoid. Influence. For those of us who have agonized over the work-family question for years, it may be tempting to brush these psychological tensions aside, saying, "Welcome to our world." So the lessons for loving, advice from the wisest Americans on love, relationship, and marriage. Avoid the ones with the defeatist attitudes. Get out of there before they drag you down. Children's ministry resource of the Bible. Helping children grow in the light of God's word. Who among you will give ear to this? Active coaching, changing business, transforming lives. Maybe loneliness is unbearable for you, so when a client raises the issue of loneliness, you quickly shift the coaching in a different direction and find something else to talk about. You can never know what new connections the intuitive mind will come up with. Expect the unexpected. Great TED Talks are the creativity. We often tackle problems from unconventional angles and in the process end up discovering alternatives or even better ways to do things. The 80-20 principle, the secret to achieving more with less. We should aim to frustrate the 80-20 principle, or at least translate it to a higher plane where we can be much happier and more effective. Remember the promise of the 80-20 principle. If we take note of what it tells us, we can work less, earn more, enjoy more, and achieve more. You can always get what you want. A whole new mind, while right-brainers will rule the future. But emphasizing is different. To emphasize, you need some degree of attachment in order to recognize that you are interacting with a person, not an object. but a person with feelings and whose feelings affect your own. Be happy. Release the power of happiness in you. Natural spaces are empty and free of common human anxieties. Language development. The subsequent 20 years have seen a plethora of studies exploring and demonstrating how and when young children use syntax to learn about the word meaning. The friendships of women. I've dreamed of meeting her all my life. A bosom friend, an intimate friend, a really kindred spirit to whom I can confide my inmost soul. Power question. Build relationships, win new business, and influence others. Why is this day different? My good friend Robbie invited me to a dinner. Stillness speak who you truly are. Doing business with the Japanese. If I expressed my sorrow and offered him help, then he would have felt that at some later date he would have to repay me. Marketing. Moving from traditional to digital. Content marketing for brand curiosity. Initiating conversation with powerful storytelling. 10 global trends every smart person should know. That means that the tertiary figure is commonly well below 100% tertiary. Learn like a pro. Science-based tools to become better at anything. Preview the text before reading it in detail. Perfect Health, the complete mind-body guide. One great advantage of the quantum mechanical body is that it does not age, a quality one sees throughout the quantum level of nature. Take the stairs, 7 steps to achieving true success. There may not be a more relevant statement to improving our self-discipline than that. The miracles of your mind. Are you ready to unlock your true potential? Most people learn this fact the hard way. Release your brilliance. Identify 3 ways you can invest more in your relationship with your spouse. The power of collective ambition. In this article, we will illustrate the 5 key principles of this approach to alliance management using several companies we have worked with as an example. Reading people. How to understand the people and predict their behavior anytime, any place. Signs announcing security system or organizational memberships are all useful clues to a person's background, belief, and priorities as symbols of religious affiliation. A time to build. A time to build. The case for commitment. Our souls and our institution shape each other in an ongoing way. Laws of obedient success. By consciously violating Parkinson's law, you will eventually become financially independent. Identity, your passport to success. Chapter 6. Do you transform your own identity, or is it owning your identity that transforms your life? Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. No rules are the rules. There's a lot of dishonest people. The gaggle. You want to do interesting, exciting things with that person, of course. Crucial conversation. As a result, we now have longer discussion, and she's usually able to leave the conversation without having an outburst. The power of a whisper, hearing God, having the guts to respond. I have a special assignment for you. The med school confidential. Some surgeons are among the best paid physicians in practice. Entrepreneurs are made, not born. The entrepreneurs were able to make an asset out of being different because they never let their earlier differences become a liability. Boundaries before marriage. Experience requires time. ultimate happiness prescription, 7 keys to enjoy and enlightenment. It may be planning ways to take control of the situation. The resilience factor. Once you have identified the belief that are accounting for your feelings, you can use challenging belief to test whether they are fully accurate. A modern fable on real success in business and in life. The leader who had no title, and if a wall shows up, and it's a wall that blocks me from a goal that's important to me, I do absolutely whatever it takes to climb over that wall. Even the smell of it tingles your taste buds and create a burst of appetite. Tingle. How to create a culture of excellence. How great companies think differently. Winning companies understand that it's much cheaper to develop a star than it is to go out and buy one. Battlefield of the mind, winning the battle in your mind. Chapter 17. Wilderness mentality number 2. Someone do it for me. I don't want to take the responsibility. Business model. One-page method for reinventing your career. Improve my personal fitness. Cycle 3 days per week. Do yoga and dance, and adjust my diet to support these activities. How well do you know your body? Take the quiz. An insider's guide to the body that will make you healthier and younger. But when your mother started taking folate to prevent the spina bifida, a specific birth defect, we also saw a 60% reduction in childhood cancers. The communication problem solver, simple tools and techniques for busy managers. Also, people can take only so much change at one time. Why success always starts with failure? Adapt. No large country has introduced a substantial carbon price across the entire economy, and international negotiation continue to struggle. The art of using strategic persuasion to sell your ideas. Why hadn't it been solved before? Life path strategies for teens. In fact, it can become a substitute for taking action. The road to success is never a straight line. The zigzag principle, the goal-setting strategy that will revolutionize your business and your life. That is the power of scale. teaching in the secondary school, models of directed instruction, the Instructional Act, teaching for higher level outcomes, small group and cooperative learning. What they teach you at Harvard Business School. There was Portolini's lecture on serendipity. What doctors don't tell you, the truth about the dangers of modern medicine. The article, written by a GP, noted that doctors use antibiotics with ear infections ineffective as a placebo. The purpose-driven life. Question to consider. Why do I need to restore a broken relationship with today? How to smell a rat, the 5 signs of financial fraud. Further reading. Why do investors fall for financial fraud? Everything changes but the avant-garde. The 3 signs of a miserable job of favor for managers and their employees. For the rest of the night, he couldn't stop wondering what Rick might want from him. The 10 commandments of money. Survive and thrive in the new economy. Create a body that works in the real world. Keep saving for your own retirement and build up home equity. Lobsters. A daughter helps tend traps with her father. How doctors think. While you cannot predict a specific outcome for any particular patient, like that emphasized, you need to be candid and not paint too rosy a scenario. Your sources are not integrated. Follow the steps to create and sell your own NFTs. As usual, we highly recommend reading the full chapter to immerse yourself in token lingo and to develop a greater appreciation of the instruction in our practical implementation. When genius failed, storytelling journalism at its best. For a fund that had to lighten its load, the month had ended with the most nightmarish kind of bond market imaginable. No bond market at all nightmarish. Stepping up. Whatever it is, look for ways to influence in the direction of that intention all day long. Of some of the poets discussed I know a little, but when the subject was familiar, I read with confidence that they were intelligently and just examined. The Innovation Secret of Steve Jobs. The campaign launched on March 23, 2008. Signals the 27 trends defining the future of the global economy. Copart. Dwindling corporate longevity. Companies have a shorter lifespan. Than they did in previous decades, and they are projected to become even shorter in the future. Traffic, why we drive the way we do, and what it says about us. Solomon himself acknowledged, but downplayed, that these kind of events might account for nearly half of the rear-end crashes at low speed. Downplay. Fortune's fool. He moved out of the couple's Upper East Side townhouse, and the couple soon divorced. The vegetarian myths food justice and sustainability, because insulin also controls a number of other basic life functions. High levels of insulin will cause damage throughout the body. Speak like the CEO. Knowing what they will ask allows you to effectively prepare. The most important thing, uncommon sense for the thoughtful investor. Rising prices for credit defaulted swap protection on U.S. Treasury securities. Gift. Pizza with God. Pitch perfect. How to say it right the first time every time. Your closest friends and family aren't likely to hold it against you if you are slightly off pitch. "30 Days to Understanding the Bible." The picture of the Messiah in the Old Testament was an uncertain one. The purpose-driven life. Reflections on what on earth am I here for? Every word of God is flawless. The power of encouragement. Redirect her life. Murray gently sat the infant seat and 3-month-old Matthew on the sunroof of the car and turned his attention to buckling Matthew's 20-month-old sister into a seat. Buckling. Perfect praises for performance reviews. How do you look for alternative ways to solve a problem when your original strategy seems to be going nowhere? Beyond the obvious, killer question that spark game-changing innovation. Who is giving their customers a great buying experience outside of your industry, whose practices you could adopt? Doing work you love, discovering your purpose and realizing your dreams. Isolation is a dream killer. Praying through the deeper issues of marriage, protecting your relationship so it will last a lifetime. Expose every lie masquerading as truth to him, masquerading.